Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back to the Sunday Recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a little bit about my last week in games. As always, let's start with EVE Online. I've played around an average amount of EVE Online, did some exploration that has been going well. Mixed week, I would say. I had a couple of days where I found some nice sites early on, got some nice loot, and yeah, ISK-wise, it's been decent, although not great. On a couple of other days, I've had to search through so many systems that it really took a long time before I even found a decent site to do. And at that point, I quite often just settle down and try to go for some of the smaller anomalies. Hope for instance, the refuges to escalate to a 3 out of 10. But, well, considering where I'm at, I usually do get those far away in null or in low sec, and so it's not been that great on a couple of days, but you know, the average I think has been reached, and that's pretty good. I think I definitely still enjoy exploration the most. Next to that, I've also been doing a little bit more industry. I've kept up with my daily trips to and from Jita in order to try to sell stuff, but we are now coming across a next problem. I think after a couple of weeks of focusing on munitions in industry, well, there's lots of other competition that's starting to come in and prices are definitely dropping, which means that my margins are dropping as well. So I think that my next phase is going to be to try to diversify, try to find other good items to build, maybe slow things down just a little bit as well, so that I don't keep you know, bringing too much supply to certain markets, and then try to just have like a schedule. For instance, 1 day munitions a week, then we're doing some modules, then some Tech 1 ships, then some drones. But yeah, for drones, terrible margins there, so I'm still not sure how to do it, but you need to find the right balance if you want to do industry in high sec. Lots of people tell me, well, in null sec we get even better margins and you can much more easily sell everything. Of course, that's quite normal. If you get a massive alliance behind you as your market, then that is very much possible. But I always try to keep the perspective of newer players as well, and solo players, because I'm mostly a solo player myself. So I'm going to continue my experiment on my own. I'm definitely having a lot of fun, and when it comes to the development of the game, well, there's not that much known at this point, and there's still the EVE updates website, which I think the most important part there is the 64-bit clients. I'm hoping that we will see that at some point. I think it could be quite good, and the January patch has mostly been, I would say, a maintenance patch, which I don't think is a bad idea. I don't think anyone expect CCP to come out with new and exciting content on every single patch that they deploy, like once a month. Doesn't make much sense. I think that it's good that CCP from time to time takes a bit of a break from that and goes for a bit more fixing, maintenance, try to keep everything running smoothly, and that's exactly what the January patch felt like. Perhaps February will be more of the same, because so far we haven't had many announcements, and well, we don't have an Iceland fan fest to look forward to this time for like major announcements and an actual roadmap. So I personally am curious to see how all of that is going to develop. Next up, we have Hearthstone. I did play some more Rastakon's Rumble, the new solo adventure in Hearthstone. I think it's great content, especially if, like me, when it comes to free-to-play games, you don't really intend to spend a lot of money in them. And this type of content is absolutely great. Great replayability as well. I've been exploring some of the different shrines that you can use there. Some of them are definitely super strong. So far, the one that steals cards from your opponent's deck is, I think, the strongest, followed very closely by the shrine that triples your battle cries when it's active. That one is also absolutely you know, super powerful, and I think those two so far have given me the best chance of getting through the entire Rastakon's Rumble. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you've got other shrines that are a pain in the butt to have to deal with. So I'm quite surprised by that. For instance, the Hunter, with every spell adds an extra trap, a random trap to the board. That one is like really very difficult to to fight through, but when you use it yourself, you do struggle. Basically, you run out of steam too quickly because traps, well, 2 damage. It's more of delays and not super powerful when it comes to the creatures that are summoned there. They're all 2 mana, of course, so you run into the problem that for, well, fight 6, 7 and 8, it just doesn't feel that strong, but it's always a bloody pain in the butt when you come up against him. And it's the same thing with the rogue one, where they have a shrine that gives stealth to your other creatures, and when he dies gives +2 attack to your other creatures. There's just, again, the same problem. You run out of steam too quickly, and the first 4 or 5 games, you know, that's quite doable, but then 6, 7, 8 at the end there, they have too much HP, there's too much stuff that needs to happen, and you can't effectively rush them anymore with such big HP pools. And yeah, that means that it's quite a challenge, I think, for those two shrines to actually make it past the entire Rastakan's Rumble. Perhaps you should even go off meta and go with cards that give you some super powerful combinations or something like that. Still haven't broken that code. And then you've got some middle of the road, of course. Paladin always tends to be pretty good. Priest, I think, is also pretty strong, but you have some challenges that you will encounter from time to time. So great content in my opinion, definitely something that anyone can give a go, and I'm absolutely enjoying it at the moment. And then for my final game we have the World of Warcraft. I've played a little bit of World of Warcraft, just more maintenance stuff right now, doing the emissaries. And did I do anything extra? I think, yeah, Warfronts. If you get a quest for that, it's an extra piece, so I do run that from time to time. And well, honestly, what I'm almost enjoying the most are just some extra world quests. Run around there, look for some world PvP from time to time. It does happen, apparently, on the Ragnaros server. I do see it happen a bit more often than what we used to. My theory is that it's mostly, like me, people that are a bit bored with the game, don't really have any goals. Well, are you going to put yourself in a 10-15 minute queue for a battleground, or are you just going to roam around in the world and try to find some stuff to kill or some fights to join? I think lots of people are actually doing that at the moment. There's gang squads out there and things like that. So from that perspective, well, it's actually decently fun to do the world quest at the moment with the PvP active. And yeah, I do enjoy the world quests myself, but it's completely aimless at the moment. There's no real reason to do them. My necklace is at like 35.5 or something like that. I think you need to get like 38 for the new system, which is patch 8.2. That's still all far away. But I try to keep it up, try to stay in World of Warcraft every day just to keep the habit going, because next week there will be the new raid, and then normally a bit of a reset when it comes to the rewards and things like that. So I'm curious to see if Blizzard gives us good enough stuff that I, for instance, would restart trying to do the conquest cap every week. That has been a decently fun challenge for me to do. I enjoy the battlegrounds when I've got a goal and a reward at the end of that, of course. And so we'll see how that evolves depending on how everything goes. But I must also say, right, the new rewards, it's still not with the new Azerite system. So you still won't have the pieces with the extra outer ring and things like that, if I'm not mistaken, which I think is just not great at the moment. Lots of people are complaining about the Azerite system, and so I think Blizzard will have a very difficult time motivating me to put more time into the World of Warcraft, and even to keep playing the World of Warcraft, because then I have to be honest, I saw the trailer for the new expansion for the Elder Scrolls Online, Khajiit Homeland, with some dragons. It looked really cool, very enticing again. I mean, I may get swallowed up by hype here again. It is only for the summer, so there's still plenty of time between now and then. But that looked quite interesting for, well, a game where I don't have to pay a sub to enjoy. It's been a long time, but I did enjoy their Morrowind expansion. So perhaps buying that new expansion, you know, just supporting the Elder Scrolls Online that way, and then having a no subscription MMO rather than the the World of Warcraft is definitely an option that I'm thinking about at the moment. And between now and then, there's some other things that are interesting me as well. Path of Exile, well, I want to get a nice clean start now that I know a bit more about the game with the next league. So if I'm not mistaken, that might be March or something like that. Definitely on my radar. And then we also have Anthem. You know, we've got the demo, see if I enjoy it, and perhaps it could be an interesting adventure as well there. It's a buy-to-play game, no subscription, makes a big difference compared to, let's say, the World of Warcraft. And then, you know, there's still lots of other stuff to look forward to as well. So we'll see how 2019 will shape up when it comes to the games. But for now, I'm giving World of Warcraft a good chance to rope me back in, to give me something to do. But it's really not looking like it's going to happen that well until perhaps patch 8.2, but that's, who knows how far away that is. So yeah, at the moment it's a bit in limbo, and I'm basically going to have to decide at some point. I'm at least going to take a look at it next week and see what there is to do then. And that was my last week in games, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.